Okay, so here's a story that completely flips the script on how you're supposed to build a global tech empire. We're talking about a founder who looked at the Silicon Valley playbook and basically threw it in the trash to create something totally unique from the ground up.
You know, this quote right here, it's the key to understanding everything we're about to talk about. Talent is universal, but opportunity is not. This is the core philosophy of Sridhar Vembu, the founder of the software giant Zoho. It sounds simple, right? But he used this very idea to build something absolutely extraordinary. So, that really leads us to the big question, doesn't it? How on earth did a guy with a Ph.D. from Princeton end up building a multi-billion-dollar tech giant, not from a shiny office in Silicon Valley, but from a remote village in India? It sounds kind of crazy. So let's dive in and find out.
To really get the rebel, you first have to understand the path he was expected to take. I mean, the absolute gold standard for a career in tech. I mean, look at this. This path is the very definition of a conventional success story. An elite engineering degree from India's top university, a PhD from Princeton, and then a great job at a tech powerhouse like Qualcomm. This is the dream trajectory for any engineer. But yeah, that safe path just wasn't for him. In 1996, he and his brothers decided to take a huge risk. They literally walked away from all that stability to start their own company, AdventNet, which, as you'll see, would one day become Zoho. They just wanted to build something that was truly their own. And almost immediately, that dream was put to the ultimate test. You see, the company was born right before one of the biggest tech catastrophes in history, the dot-com crash of 2001. Now, before the crash, things were actually looking pretty good. AdventNet had built up a solid customer base of about 150 clients. They were growing, they were even competing with giants like HP and Cisco. And then, this. The bubble just burst. And overnight, their 150 customers, they just evaporated. They were left with 3. Just 3. I mean, can you even imagine? For pretty much any other startup, that would have been it. Lights out, game over. But Sridhar Vembu just refused to fail. He didn't lay anyone off. No way. Instead, he dug into his own savings to keep paying salaries, all while taking nothing for himself. This forced a massive shift. He stopped chasing the hype and focused intensely on building real, solid products for the few customers he had left. And that was the turning point. This trial by fire, it forged the foundational philosophy of Zoho, to build a truly resilient company that could withstand any storm, completely independent of market hype or pressure from investors. And this experience led to a strategy so counterintuitive, so against the Silicon Valley grain, that you could honestly call it the anti-unicorn playbook. It was built entirely on the lessons he learned in that dot-com fire. So, this new strategy, it really rests on 3 radical pillars. First, reject venture capital. Just say no thanks to all that outside money. Second, hire for raw skill, not for what's on a fancy resume. And third, and this is maybe the most mind-blowing of all, build your company not in a major city, but in a quiet village. Okay, first, let's talk about the money. The standard Silicon Valley way is to raise massive amounts of venture capital for super fast growth. But that means you're always answering to investors. Vembu chose to bootstrap, funding all the growth with the company's own profits. Sure, it meant slower, more deliberate expansion, but it gave him what he really wanted, complete control. This brings us to pillar number 2, talent. In 2004, he launched Zoho Schools. Now, this wasn't a university. It was an in-house training program designed to find bright, capable young people, even if they didn't have a formal college degree, and turn them into world-class software engineers. And just look at the results. Today, a full 20%, 1/5, of Zoho's engineers don't have a traditional college degree. They are all graduates of Zoho Schools. This isn't some small side experiment. It's a core part of their talent strategy, proving that skills truly do matter more than credentials. And finally, pillar 3, location, location, location. Instead of building a massive, expensive campus in a big city, Vembu took the company to rural India. Why? To deliberately distribute opportunity. He offers city-level salaries in these villages, which completely reverses the brain drain and allows talented people to build incredible careers without ever having to leave their communities. So you have to be wondering, did this crazy, counterintuitive anti-unicorn strategy actually work? Well, the results? They pretty much speak for themselves.
Let's be clear, this isn't some small niche product. Today, Zoho's software is used in over 150 countries. That's proof that a truly global company can, in fact, be built from a village. And its reach is just massive. Millions of users rely on Zoho's suite of business tools every single day to run their companies. We're not just talking about success. This is large-scale, worldwide impact. So what about the man himself? Well, Sridhar Vembu lives the values he preaches. In 2019, he permanently moved from Silicon Valley back to a small village in India. He lives a simple life, and he was even awarded one of India's highest civilian honors for his work. And in a final twist, he recently stepped down as CEO to become chief scientist, prioritizing deep innovation over the corner office.
So in the end, Vembu proved that you don't need a boatload of venture capital or a swanky headquarters in a big city to build a global multi-billion-dollar tech company. And that, it leaves us with a really fascinating question to chew on. Is this whole bootstrapped world-first model just a one-off, an outlier? Or is it a genuine blueprint for a more sustainable, more equitable future for the entire tech industry?